Albert AWOL, the voice of the jungle, broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. Thank you for joining us on episode 186 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom. I'm here with Trevor. We have no Damon this week because Damon is at Disney right now. So despite, not saying he wasn't going to go, but for a while, he's there now. So
for a trip, though. Pass, I guess.
Yeah, right. I'm just waiting to hear what he thinks of rides because he really hasn't been telling us much. Like he's been posting stuff in the group like here and there, but not like his impressions of anything, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
he's said a couple of things, which, of course we'll talk about when he's back, but I'm a little surprised at his take on things just because, I mean, it's Damon, right?
Yeah.
I think it'll be an interesting trip report when he comes back. So.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, he's told us a little bit of stuff, right? But, like, I do feel like he's dug his heels pretty hard in on Guardians of the Galaxy, and he could ride it and then think it's the greatest ride ever and never go back on what he said. So, he's gone too far with that one. He can't say he liked it now.
Well, here's the thing. He has a safety net there because, it doesn't matter how good Guardians is. All he has to say is it's not Tron. Right, I'm saving my reactions for Tron.
There you go. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess he can do that. That's true. But it's funny because I just I was up at the good old 5:45 in the morning, which is probably even worse for you, right? Because you got to get up like really early for dining reservations, right?
Yeah, well, it's about 5:00 in the morning.
Yeah, because you're what, an hour behind us or 2 hours behind?
2 hours behind, but because I didn't think they opened till 7.
No, it's 6, my friend.
It's 6 now? Jeez, that means I gotta get up at 4.
Yeah, I know. It was harder to... So I got up at 5:45 because the last time when I got Space 220, I just checked at 5:45 and it had opened up early, which I guess happens sometimes. And most of the time it's 6 o'clock on the dot, right? So I ended up, I was up and I got I had my phone going and my computer going, which I have to say it's way easier to do on phone than it was on my computer, which, the reason being is because for whatever reason, when you do it through their website, they make you put in your credit card information every time. Whereas your phone has it saved, which makes no sense to me.
Well, the phone has it saved, and I think they've designed everything that they want people to use the phone. Right?
Well, yeah, but it's not even like my phone itself has it saved. Like the app has it saved, so it's in there, and it's like I know my credit card is saved in my account. Why doesn't it show up when I do it through online? But whatever.
Really?
It wasn't showing up, man. Like I had to type it in every time, and I'm like, this is annoying. So I just started doing it all through the phone. So, but to my surprise, we got pretty much everything we wanted. So we got Hoop to Do review, which I was concerned about, but not the ideal time, right? So we got the 4:00 show. We want to do the 6:00 show so we can have a couple more hours in the park, but. Whatever. I did decide to do, and those that have been following this, I talked about doing all the Magic Kingdom stuff on one day. We're not doing that anymore. We're going to do Hoop-de-Doo the first night that we're there. Because we have an Animal Kingdom day, and, Animal Kingdom, you can spend, it's not a full day.
Yeah, it's not a full day park. It really isn't, right?
Yeah. And plus we're going to be back, right? So we can do that. But I'd still want the 6:00. I'd still rather have the 6:00. But, I'm going to try.
So I know you tend to eat dinner later, but I guess my only thought on that is I think you'll have a better experience with your daughter at the 4:00.
Well, my daughter typically eats dinner at like 5:30, right? And then we typically eat either after she goes to bed and I mean, this is going to change as she gets older, right? Like we'll eat together more, but right now we mostly focus on eating with her, and then because she goes to bed so early, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, listen, you're right. The 4:00 is probably going to be better for her, but I don't know. The timing just seemed better. for the 6th. So I was okay with it. The only other one I wasn't able to get was Space 220. Could not get Space 220. There was no availability. That is a tough one, man. I would say for you, Trevor, you should do that one towards the end of your trip if you can, because Go ahead.
We've actually been talking about that ourselves because we realized that, kind of the same thing as you. You know, we're splitting stuff up over multiple days because, like we want to do Garden Grill as well, which Garden Grill and Space 220 on the same day is a little too much.
It's a lot. So, it's a lot. Yeah.
And then sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so we did Space 220 for lunch specifically because we want to do food and wine for the rest of the day, right? So, we're that's a big thing too. We were trying to do that for lunch so that we could do, the rest of the day food and wine, and so but even then, we couldn't find anything. There was not a single time available. But if you do it towards, we were trying to do it towards the beginning of our trip specifically because of who we were trying to take there, right? We have a very specific plan. And so, but if you do it towards the end of your trip, you might be okay because, and I guess
for further out reservations are easier. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So I think a lot of people forget sometimes that other people could book, 10 days out for their whole trip, before you could book anything. And so sometimes in the very beginning of your trip, it's hard to find things because people have already booked all that stuff up. So if you do it towards the end of your trip, a lot of times it's easier to find a reservation. So instead we booked Coral Reef, which we've actually never eaten there. But we know my daughter might get a kick out of the fish, sitting next to, the fish tank. I think she will like that. So, I've heard mixed things about the food there, but whatever, we're going to check it out. I'm still going to try to get Space 220. I have I redid my touring plan subscription, so I have the little dining alert thing, where they check for open reservations, and they'll text me if something pops up, which has worked very well for me in the past.
I think so. Yeah, you're using touring plans, but I thought there was another one called Mouse Dining or something.
Yeah. There's a couple
similar.
of them. Yeah. There's a couple of them that do it. Yeah. But I have used touring plans in the past, so. But yeah. So that's, I got pretty much everything. Like I said, we got sci-fi, but sci-fi we got at 3:10 in the afternoon, which I'm who cares? We'll just do an early dinner, late lunch, whatever.
Yeah, that's fair. And
sci-fi's hard, man. Sci-fi's a tough one to get into. So go, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I was thinking too, even 3:10, it sounds early, but
it does.
When you really think about it, it's a sit down, right? It's not.
Yeah, it's sit down. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the one thing I guess people don't always factor in is it's I want a reservation at 5:00 because I want to eat dinner at 5:00, and it's no, actually, by the time you get in there, you sit down, you order drinks, you order food, the food does not come out immediately. So you're usually out by at least half an hour anyway. So yeah. So it's still.
No, I agree.
Yeah, 3:10 still a little early, but it's like you said, it's getting it's like an early dinner kind of thing, which isn't
there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that. We'll just eat a brunch, and then we'll do, we'll just mess with our food schedule that day. Plus my parents are retired. They probably eat at 4:00 every day anyway. So they do, for real.
And it's Disney, schedules don't matter as much as they do everywhere else, right?
No, I think 3:10 is fine. And then, so I tried to find dinner for Crystal Palace, but because the thought was I don't want to say overlap with the Halloween party, but try to get it as late as possible. So if we're there a little bit past when the park technically closes, we can just get out after that and it should be fine. You know what I mean? Use up as little of the time as possible.
You'll be fighting against the people coming in for the Halloween party, but that's that's not a big deal, right? You're going against the wave of people at that point.
Yeah. But I actually was not able to get. I only could get lunch there, which is fine. We just want to go there for the character, great. So it's fine. And then what else did I get? We're doing 50s prime time in the second half of the trip. I believe we're doing a Sanaa in the second half of the trip. Gosh, what else did I book? Oh, of course we're doing your favorite, which you just said the name of, and for some reason I always forget
Garden
the name
Grill.
of this. Yeah, I don't know why I always forget the name of Garden Grill every time.
Yeah.
We're going to Garden Grill, so that's our character dining for the second half. So
I forget, like this is a much longer trip than you normally would do. So
yeah,
I'm just thinking about wow, that is a lot of dining reservations, but I guess it's also it's
we're there for 11 days. Yeah, I mean, we're there for 11 days, and now we're there's the second leg of the trip. We're doing a break day one of the days, like in the middle of the trip. Whereas so the first half we're doing a break day like in the middle of the week, right? So like we start on Saturday. We go till Tuesday with the parks. We do all 4 parks, 4 days in a row. And then Wednesday, we're taking a break. And like I mentioned before, we'll probably do the pool in the morning. And then I think we're going to go to Peppa Pig Land or whatever in the afternoon. So we're going to do that. And then, but that's the second half of the trip. I was looking at like the crowd calendars coming up, right? And that Sunday is just a nightmare, right? Like, so because it's the day before a holiday. And so like all like the crowds like at every park were like 8s or 9s out of 10. And I was like, you know what? Why don't we just make that a non-park day, right? And then we'll hit up Magic Kingdom the next day, and hopefully be a little bit slower, according to the crowd calendars, it should be a little slower. So yeah, so it's a little weird how the schedule worked out, but I mean, I think it's going to work, and we're trying to, make the best use of our time. So, but we got, like I said, we got pretty much everything we wanted, and I'm not against the coral reef thing. I kind of always wanted to eat there, even though no one's ever been like, oh, you got to eat coral reef. Like, fine. But I think the atmosphere there is what we're really looking for as opposed to the food. So,
oh, totally. Yeah. I've thrown that out a couple of times for my family, and my wife immediately shoots it down with, but I don't want to eat seafood. And I'm like, they don't just do seafood, but she's like, yeah, but it's
mostly seafood dishes.
Yeah. So I get it. It's not everyone's favorite.
Well, it's funny because I said this to my my stepfather yesterday, who's coming with us and is going on that day because he's a big fish eater. And I said, oh, we got this, we're going to Coral Reef, and you sit next to the tank so you can see the fish, and most of the dishes are fish. And he goes, oh, is it just like, when one of the fish keels off in the tank, they just bring it over and cook it up? And I'm like, no, that's not how it works.
No, you don't get to pick out of the tank.
No, you don't get to, no. But
there's
yeah, seriously. Yeah. But I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, man, it's been a while since I've done like actual dining reservations, because like our short trips that we've done, the past like year or two here, have been like, we haven't done dining reservations. We've had like 1 or 2 here and there, but like to do like a full long trip dining reservation was a lot, man. Like I forgot how much time it takes to do that. I also forgot that you got to pay up front for Hoop-de-Doo, right? So like you got to pay right then for it, which was a little bit challenging because my sisters and her soon to be husband are coming with us, I think. Right. So like, I don't know if they're really coming or not. So it's like, all right, I'll just pay for it. And then if I have to cancel them later, I can cancel them later, whatever, but yeah, we're excited. It's starting to get real, man. It's now it's just like, once you do dining reservations, especially now where you only do them 60 days out, it's like, oh man, it's getting real now, So
yeah, I forgot how, like, cause we're in August here, and I guess same kind of thing. Like I realized I have to do my dining reservations beginning of September, but we, like I mentioned before the podcast, we started talking about dining, and I realized that same as you, it's like, I really need to get this stuff nailed down.
Yeah,
because
you need to map out your plan. You don't have your plan mapped out yet, right? Yeah.
I actually I've been dragging on it this time, and I think part of it is because we did that trip back in May. That like I was more focused on that. And so like, that's kind of done. And usually it would be like, okay, I've got lots of time to think about the next trip, but it's coming up pretty fast here. And yeah, I started planning with my family, and yeah, I'm going to, everything that you've said here, I'm going to take that back, actually. Like the Space 220 thing, we were talking about it. And I was thinking like, oh yeah, by then it probably won't be a big deal, but if you're having issues booking Space 220, then yeah, I think I need to get a little bit more serious about this.
Well, I think somebody posted I think it was our group, and they said, I think Space 220 reservations are a myth. Something like that, because they couldn't get it either. It's a tough get, man. I mean, I got lucky when like I said, because I did it 15. It opened up 15 minutes early, and I just got lucky the first time I got to go. But I mean, it is a tough get. I mean, but if I'm assuming that's probably a priority for you, right? Like that's like the one new restaurant I think you really want to go to. I don't think there's anything else that's like new that you haven't been to, right?
Yeah, it is. But it's funny that I when I asked my family about this, and my son immediately came back with, well, we're doing Garden Grill first. So even with like, he knows what Space 220 is and everything, but to him, it's cool, new restaurant, but we're going to Garden Grill first. So I understand that. Yeah. I need to plan around that. But I think, doing it later, doing it towards the end of the trip, I think you're right, makes a lot of sense. Cause, I don't think we can actually do it a day. Like I'm thinking it's going to be we'll be somewhere else like Magic Kingdom and then hop on the monorail and go over to Epcot for a reservation.
Yeah. It makes sense. I think that's probably a good idea, right? Just park hop your way over whenever you have a chance. Yeah. I like that. So so that's what's going on. We're definitely interested to hear what Damon's going to say when he comes back. So, that's going to be an interesting conversation.
Yeah, this is weird. We all have like Damon's there right now, and we're all like back into it. It feels like it's been forever since we've all been
on trips. Yeah,
like seriously planning or doing trips. So
for sure. Yeah. So. It's I know we're finally getting. It feels like we're finally getting back to normal to where we were before. So
yeah.
I mean, but like, this trip is going to be different just because we're staying so long, and we've got different people coming in and out. I mean, we have 9 people on our reservation, but we're never going to have 9 people there at once. It's
that's going to be the weird thing too. And I was thinking about this as you were talking about your reservations. It's like, you guys are going to have a great time because you got more than enough time to do everything that you want to do.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
The people you're with, though, like you said, they're going to be there in smaller chunks. And I guess the only thing I would say to keep in mind is you're going to be thinking about what what you want to see them do while you're there. And I think you're going to have to, for the sake of yourself, just remember that, they don't necessarily know everything, or if something gets missed for them, like it's not a big deal. Right.
Well, and both sets of parents have said to us, they're like, listen, we're just going to go, we're going to follow you guys, whatever you guys are doing. That's what we're going to do. So like, which is great. Like that's helpful. Right.
Yeah.
Cause then truthfully, we're going to beat to the, we're going to march to the beat of my daughter's drum, not necessarily our own. Right. Like a lot of it's going to be dependent on what she is, how she is. And if she can, how long she can go for in the day, and, how she's, getting through everything. So it's going to be interesting. We really don't know what to expect, but we also, part of the reason why we're excited about this trip and why it's so long is that it's like we can just kind of take it easy, because we didn't get a long day at Magic Kingdom today. Oh, we'll go back. It's fine. Yeah. So yeah, it's exciting, man. It really is. We're really pumped for it. It should be a really fun trip. It's just, it's now we got to just wait to get there. Right. So yeah. So, all right, let's get into questions. Let's do it. So Rachel says, what is still missing from pre-COVID that you most want to come back? Not free things like fast passes that are gone forever, but things like restaurants, character dining, entertainment, events, special experiences, package delivery to resorts, etc. So, I mean, a lot of the character dining's back. Not most. I don't want to say most of it, but a lot of
which ones are missing, I guess, is the question.
The one that you know how to pronounce in Norway.
Akershus.
That one. That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah, there's that one. I don't know. I think that's the main one, right? Because the other ones are coming back in September.
And it's funny. I think that one may end up being a big hit for you and your daughter.
I know. I was kind of hoping it was going to be open. To be honest.
But this is good though, because you don't have to try and split that with everything else that you're doing right now.
True.
you can, this is something that you can plan for a future trip that will, again, it's something new that she'll be able to do. And I wouldn't be surprised if it, hits her the same. And I guess this is the thing is, like for us, we never thought about Garden Grill the way that we did for like when my wife and I would go, we were just like, yeah, whatever. But then when we started going with my son, Garden Grill became a totally different thing.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
So you'll, I guess after this trip, you'll have to see what resonates with your daughter.
Yep.
And yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say the main things to me that are missing at this point, right? So like, I think most of the entertainment's back, right? Like with the exception of this point of Fantasmic, right? Like,
yeah, Fantasmic, yeah.
That's the big, I think, one that's really missing at this point, which they've said it's going to open this year. But I mean, we're 3/4 of the way through the year and we still don't have an opening date. So who the heck knows when that's going to happen at this point? I'm really hoping it's going to be open by the time we go, but I don't know because my daughter likes to watch that one on YouTube. So I would love to go in person for it. But anyway.
I mean, I can still miss it. Like I don't need it stripping.
Yeah,
but
it's just been so long since I've seen it. I just feel like it's been forever. I do want package delivery back to resorts. I thought that was coming back though. Maybe I'm thinking Disneyland. I think they announced that was back.
I don't remember that being a big thing at Disneyland either. But
oh really?
Yeah. Because the thing is package delivery. Like the resorts are all like right there, so it's not as big of a deal as it is at
Disney World,
in Disney World, yeah.
It still says currently unavailable, but I thought I read somewhere it was coming back, but that might have been
I mean that's entirely a staffing thing, right? Like they need enough people to manage it logistically, and they're still not there.
No, they're getting there, but they're still not there.
I think. What else? So
the cultural representatives are coming back.
Yep.
So that's great.
Those are coming back.
Yeah, in fact, that some of them are starting now. So I'm excited that when I go back, they'll be there. The other one is Enchanted Tales with Belle, which for some reason is still not open. I feel like these things that revolve around face characters are still. I don't know if just face characters are harder to find right now, but like things like Enchanted Tales with Belle, where you need face characters. Things like the restaurant in Norway, again, need face characters. Like that's. Maybe they're just having a harder time with that. I don't know. But that's a thing that I know my daughter would absolutely love, and I'm bummed that it's not open yet. But I mean, there's very few things that are still, closed. I mean, they're trying to get most of it back.
Yeah, I'm just thinking if there's like we've obviously touched on there's one or two things. I can't think of anything else that I'm like like I'm trying to think of places that I've walked by where I'm like, oh, I wish that was open or anything like that. But
that Little Mermaid show at Hollywood Studios is closed, but I think they closed that forever, like right at the beginning of the pandemic. So no one cares. No one cares about that. Yeah. Someone's gonna get mad.
I've never been. I mean, you know me. I like shows. Most shows don't do anything for me. I think the only one that we make an effort to go and see is the Indiana Jones stunt show.
Yeah.
So, I mean, outside of that, and again, that's open now. So outside of that,
I got one that I can, but this isn't a COVID thing though. This is construction thing. I want the Walt Disney World Railroad to reopen. My gosh.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
right.
But that's not a COVID thing. They didn't close that because of COVID. They closed that because of Tron. So, I just want that to come back.
It's funny. I when I was a kid, I loved the railroad, but with my son, we've been on the railroad a couple of times in both Disneyland and Disney World, but the timing. So I think we did one or two trips, and then they announced Star Wars Land, which closed the railroad in Disneyland. So we had years without it there, and then we started going to Florida. And then, same thing. It was like we had like 1 or 2 years, and then they closed that one for Tron. So we really haven't done a lot of the railroad. So you're right. That does need to come back.
Yeah, it really does. I can't think of really. There's definitely a couple of restaurants within Epcot that are still closed. But again, I don't know how much I care about those. And then, 1900 Park Fair. I think that one is still closed. I don't know if that one's back or not. But I've never been to that one either.
Yeah.
So whatever to that one. But I know I swear I remember that one was coming back too.
Wait, isn't 1900 Park Fair the one that has all the like Disney Junior characters? Or am I thinking of a different one?
I think you're thinking of a different one. You could do like tea there. You could do like an afternoon tea thing.
Oh,
yeah. Maybe that's what you're thinking of?
No, I was thinking of that. There was one that had like Doc McStuffins and stuff. Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't
question.
And maybe I'm thinking 1900 Park. Oh, maybe I'm mixing it up because that's not in Hollywood Studios, is it?
No. 1900 Park Fair is at Grand Floridian.
Oh, okay, that's why. Yeah. Okay, so I'm confusing that one with the one at Hollywood Studios, which I can't remember the name of right now. Then
I'm trying to find on the internet a list of everything that's still closed. I just found one. So I just found a list that was updated right at the end of July. So let's see what we got here really quickly. Railroad, Enchanted Tales with Belle. Let's see. Pete's Silly Sideshow, that little like area over there. Okay, I wonder why that's closed. It's a character meet and greet, so Bippity Boppity Boutique's back, right? So that's fine. Frozen is closed for refurbishment. That doesn't count. Fantasmic, obviously. Voyage of the Little Mermaid, I mentioned.
The one I was thinking of was Hollywood and Vine.
Oh, yeah. That's back. They have character dining there again, I think. Yeah. That's really it. There's really not that much. Mostly everything's back. I don't know when Fantasmic is coming back. I don't know what's taking them so long, but hopefully soon.
Yeah.
You want to do Chris's?
Yeah. All right. So Chris says, do you think they can create enough interactivity with the new MagicBand Plus to make it worth it to buy or even collect them like so many people do right now?
This is tough one.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing is I've seen some of the videos and, people posting like, oh, this show uses it. This show doesn't use it. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I have an answer to this, honestly. I don't think I have an answer.
I feel like the stuff I've seen from Galaxy's Edge has been cool enough that it's like, hey, but that's only one land in a park where the MagicBand Plus seems like it's worth it. I think they have to flesh out some more things like that to say that it's really going to be worth it, because just having it interact with the app on your phone is not enough.
Yeah, I saw a video of somebody with doing it with the lights that are on Spaceship Earth and like how it syncs like perfectly with the light show, and that's cool, right? But this is, as we said before, this is glow with the show, right? Like this is the same thing. You're
looking at your wrist instead of at the show.
Well, that's another thing, right? Do I want to stand there and look at my wrist while instead of looking up at the show? That's like, that's the same argument I have like when people are like recording stuff, right? Like on their phone instead of watching it. Like just like watch it, like experience things, like but I don't have a problem with this technology, right? Like I think it's cool and I think it's a neat thing for them to do. I do think at the price point that it's at, for like if you buy it pre-arrival, it's maybe worth it because it's not absurdly expensive, right? Like, yeah, like if these were like $50 a piece, then absolutely not. But I think the pre-arrival price is $25. I think
ranges 25 to 35.
Okay, it's depending on if like they're limited edition or something like that, right? Yeah. So that's an okay price point. I think the bigger thing, and from what I've read, is that a lot of people are saying the battery dies really fast. In a couple of days, right? Well, no, I've seen people say that it dies in a couple of hours.
Oh, wow.
So, like it doesn't even make it through a full day. So, and I don't know if that's, maybe they need to make like an update to those or something like that. Cause I know when people first bought them, they were having to do like a firmware update on them. Right. Like maybe they can make an update that fixes the battery issues, I've only seen this in one place, but
that's partially too, I guess, depending on what you're doing with it as well, because the thing does connect to your phone via Bluetooth.
Yep.
And if it's constantly doing checks via Bluetooth, it's going to suck the battery down. I feel like for anyone that played Game Boy back in the day, that this is feeling like, well, you know, if the battery dies in a couple hours, well, you get an external battery pack, which you attach to the MagicBand. And then, and then you end up with like all these peripherals on your wrist because the thing doesn't last long enough, right?
I'm just remembering the one I used to have for my Game Gear back in the day. I had this like gigantic battery pack that would charge it up. Yeah, that thing was it was huge. But like I don't know, man. I'm not like running out to buy one of these just because I just don't feel the need to, I guess. Mm-hmm. I'm going to spend enough money on my trip. I don't want to do this, but I also don't have a problem with anybody doing it. Like, buy them. Like, if you want to collect them or whatever, then do it. It's an interesting idea. And it is worth noting, by the way, if the battery does die, it will still work, right? So like the battery dying doesn't impact the ability to use your, lightning lane or to get into the park or to get into your room. That's still the same as the regular MagicBands where it's, it's not the, it's not the long range. Yeah, it's not the long range. It's the short range RFID. And so it will still work, right? So which is, I think, important to note. It just won't do all the fun light up stuff.
Yeah, it just becomes a sad thing where if there's shows and stuff going on and you don't have any, like, if the thing's supposed to light up and it's not doing anything, that's that honestly feels worse to me than just having a regular MagicBand, because it's like if I don't have a MagicBand Plus, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, fine, I could have bought one, whatever, I'm missing out on this. If I buy a MagicBand Plus and it's dead before a show or something that it's supposed to have some interactivity with, like I said, that feels worse to me. That Disney needs to figure out how to find that balance where the thing is not going to drain its battery in a couple hours. But like I said, that the thinking with that too is, well, you could technically fix that because I believe it uses like a USB-C connector. Yeah. So if you have an external battery pack, you can, like the same as you would charge your phone, you can charge up your MagicBand with that as well. But then, like I said, that gets annoying and that turns it into, like I said, I just have visions of, I don't know if you've ever seen the Game Boys where it's like they've got the magnifier and the light and the battery pack. And
I totally had all those things, man. Yeah, too. I had all that. Yeah.
Like it turns it into that where it's like the initial concept is good, but it's lacking so many things that, it makes it worse.
I do wonder, like, if this is going to be, because I mean, like I've said, I just said this too. It's the next iteration of the Glow with the Show, and that was like a while ago now, right? And those were like fun as a novelty, right? Like, but it didn't. I don't know. It just didn't have lasting impact, right? It was cool to watch everybody's ears, that had them light up with the show and do different things, but like. Eventually just kind of got like, it was just a novelty. It just kind of wore out and wasn't
after the initial shock of it.
Yeah.
People were like, I'm not going to bother with this. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I don't know if it's different because this is a MagicBand and MagicBands are so ubiquitous and, like you can use them for many other things. And I also like reading this question. I don't know what level of interactivity that I would want that would make me want to buy this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what Disney can announce that I would be like, oh, I'm going to buy that now. You know what I mean?
I can tell you, like I said, I started with the Galaxy's Edge stuff, the interactive stuff there. What I would like to see is like similar. They have the Pirates Adventure thing in Adventureland.
Yeah.
Where that uses the classic MagicBand, but again, bringing that up, having the having the MagicBands react again. This is obviously more targeted at kids, but you're going around and like the MagicBand reacts to. Sure. Like, oh, there's a curse, and then the MagicBand starts glowing or something like that, right? Like, again, it can only go so far, but it's if there was something like that in every land, or like if I could name something like that in every park, where I could say, hey, I have the option of doing rides, or I can walk around and do, an interactive experience that kind of touches a bunch of areas of a land. I would seriously be debating how I want to spend my day. And if the MagicBand is part of that, like that's what I think needs to happen. But I don't know if Disney's prepared to invest that kind of time into it.
Yeah.
All that said, so we did actually pre-order MagicBand Plus, but
you did.
The reason that we did that is I went and I had a look, and yeah, the price of them was, like you said, with the pre-arrival discount. We ordered some of the cheaper ones because I was like, well, when I get to the park, like we had talked about, like, well, we were just going to go buy MagicBands in the park, and so the cost to buy them in the park is actually the same as buying a MagicBand Plus at pre-arrival. So I was like, well, okay, fine. I'm going to try them. This is entirely an experiment at this point. We'll try them. We'll see how they fare for our trip. But I'm still not 100% convinced that they're going to, that for me right now, that it's like, oh, I'm going to, like, my old Magic Bands are done. I'm MagicBand Plus only going forward.
Yeah. Like, what designs did you guys get? Did you get like?
I got the turquoise, and my wife got. I can't remember. I think she got.
Oh, there's not specific designs. They're just colors.
Oh no, there's the color ones, but then I just got that one because I couldn't find any other ones that I really liked. And then my wife, I believe it was the fireworks one, which that was like $35 with the discount.
Okay.
And then my son got a Stitch one because anytime we see anything Stitch, we do it. So
yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see what they do in the future with it.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm willing to see how this goes on our trip. But like, I want to check out the stuff in Galaxy's Edge and see how good it really is, or how it feels when you're doing it. But I like, one land is not enough to justify these Magic Bands.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Okay,
this question's for you. So from Jeremy, so why don't you read it?
Yeah. So Jeremy says, Trevor, myself and my daughter got to ride Incredicoaster 4 times, and we both agreed it's our new favorite Disney coaster. Our prior favorite was Expedition Everest. Having been to all U.S. parks, what is your favorite Disney coaster? So Incredicoaster is definitely up there. I know what you're talking about. I feel so. My personal all-time favorite is the Matterhorn, and I know a lot of people are going to be listening to this and going, "Oh, what? Why?" Because it's an old coaster. It's one of the original coasters, and
it's the first steel coaster ever. So
and it's a bit bumpy, and I know that, but I have nostalgia for it. As a kid, the idea of racing through a mountain, and the fact that it's 2 tracks that intertwine one another is just, it's such a cool idea that you don't really see anywhere else. So the Matterhorn is my all-time favorite, but Everest is still up there for coasters. Like, we'll never pass on riding Everest. Same with Incredicoaster, and I'm trying to think. Big Thunder in Disneyland.
Disneyland specifically, not Disney World.
Yeah,
because that end scene, right? The end.
Yeah,
scene.
Because the end scene really does up it. It surpasses Disney World just a little bit because of that end scene.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. I've watched the videos of it. It looks pretty cool. I wish they would do it. I don't know why they haven't. It doesn't seem like it would be that difficult to do. But anyway, right. It seems like it would take them like a week to do it. But whatever. Maybe they want to keep a difference between the 2 parks. I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah.
So Kevin,
that's not a big enough reason at this point.
Yeah, it's not a good enough reason. So Kevin says you're required to visit either Disney World or Universal 2 days a year, every year for the rest of your life. Every park, hotel, and experience is available to you. You still have to pay, and you can't extend your stay. Whichever location you pick, the other one is off limits forever. Wow, that's a little harsh.
Oh, well, I'm going to Disney.
Yeah, we're going to go to Disney. I mean, that's an easy answer, Kevin.
I grew up Disney. The Universal's not going to sway me at this point.
Yeah.
I'll go to Disney 2 days a year for the rest of my life.
If I want to go to Universal, I'll just sneak over there. I just won't tell you, Kevin.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the keeper of the rules. I won't tell you.
You won't know. I'll wear a hat and glasses and have a fake mustache.
Fake mustache. Yeah, exactly. You put a wig on. You won't even know, Kevin. How are you going to know? Yeah. I always wonder this. I always wonder how they ban people from Disney for life. It's like, how? I mean, because they have your information.
Easier now,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, but like it is easier now. But like before, like how did they do that, right? Like because you could just go and buy tickets and just go in. Like how do they know that you're banned? Like I don't know. I'm sure they had a way, but
I did hear years ago that people would do that where they would just keep buying tickets under different fake IDs and they would get banned multiple times. But yeah, I think there was a point where once Disney originally started with photo ID on all the accounts. And I actually I saw someone in Disneyland once get busted for that. It was very sad, honestly. It was really? It was a lady with her son, or with her daughter rather. And she scanned her card, and so it was on the tablet, and I could see it. I saw it come up, and the picture did not look like her at all.
Oh no!
So I think she bought the tickets off of like a third party site or something like that.
Helper or something.
Yeah. And it sucked because she was standing there with her kid, and they pulled her off to the side, and they were like, no, sorry, you got to come over here. And I was like, oh, that sucks. But
oh gosh.
But yeah, so yeah, photo ID is definitely a thing now. And then further to that, the fingerprint scans, that's biometrics, which
now that they do that
around that.
Yeah, now that they do that, it's pretty hard to get around it, right? But but I also wonder though too, like, do they really take the time to go back and be like, all right, this guy's banned, give me a MagicBand, let me scan that, and then there's just a way for them to ban them from like, I don't know, I just wonder the mechanisms behind that.
Yeah, let's not find out. I mean
that's fine. Yeah. We don't need to find out.
Yeah, I've seen people get banned. I mean, I guess we could always, I feel we could dig down a bit deeper on this because, like I said, there's been YouTubers and stuff that have been banned from the parks.
Oh yeah.
So there is definitely a process to it, but yeah, I personally don't want to ever experience that.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so
I think this one's for you.
Yeah, I guess so. Laura's tips and tricks for visiting Disney World with a 1-year-old. Don't. No, I'm just kidding. No, you can. I would say take a lot of breaks. Take it really easy. Don't be afraid to go back to your hotel midday and take a nap or in the afternoon. Definitely utilize the baby care centers that are in the parks because they are great. They have like all the stuff that you could possibly need. So if you somehow, run out of diapers or run out of something you need, they have it right there. I think there's one in every park, right? They tend to be, I think, towards the entrance for most of the parks. I think the one in Epcot is back by the Odyssey though. But utilize those for sure. We also found it really helpful to have a stroller with a shade on it, and also we bought like a little rechargeable battery powered fan that we just have blow on her all day because depending on what time of year you go, it's the heat's tough for adults. It's even, I think, tougher for the kids. And then just to have that kind of shade and to be able to get her to like sleep and take a nap in the stroller like midday, that was always helpful too. I think those are probably my biggest ones. You're gonna have to take it easy, right? Like you're just gonna have to follow what the 1-year-old wants to do and find those things that they're really into. So
yeah, I mean Disney with kids. If you were going, previously without kids, you have to abide by their schedules because trying to force them, just you become that family that people talk about where the kid's having a meltdown and the parents are having a meltdown because. Yeah, you have to set reasonable expectations. I
have to tell you, Trevor, it was, and I don't think I talked about this. It was so weird when we were there for the meetup because I was just unencumbered. Like I'd never been there before where I didn't have like a backpack and a stroller, and even with like my wife, and it was just my wife and I, we always had stuff we brought with us, right? Like here I am just walking around with nothing but a MagicBand and, that's it, right? Like, and then I saw a father getting on the bus, and he had like 2 strollers, a backpack on his back, and was like holding a kid too somehow. And I was like, "Hey, man, do you need help?" Like, I was like, and he's like, "No." He's like, "I'm used to it. I got it." And I'm just like, it's just weird to be in that position,
It's very freeing when you get past that point because same thing. Like for years, like we had like. I had like a proper hiking backpack that I would take with me to the parks, because it was like, hey, this thing needs to be comfortable and I got to wear it all day. I'm not just going to buy like just something, cheap off the rack for like $5 or whatever. Yeah. Which I've seen people do. Like I props to you if that works. I don't get that because I needed something a little more comfortable. And now, like, when we were there, same thing. Like I had my little day pack with me just to, somewhere to keep a water bottle and a poncho basically. But the nice thing is, like you said, when you get past the point of strollers and stuff, like even the last couple of trips with my son, and this next trip is going to be even more so, is that it's, we're all taking care of ourselves. Yeah. And it's not, everybody, it's not, you having to haul kids plus supplies plus everything. It's more of a, well, I've got my stuff. I hope you have your stuff. And and that's as far as it goes.
That's exciting sounding. I'm in for that. No, so I mean, listen, it's you're just gonna have to play it by ear and take it easy and do what makes sense and be flexible and not worry about if you didn't do this or didn't do that. Hopefully the you'll be able to take your kids back and when they're older and can remember more of it too. And that's a big thing. And I think we went in with kind of like a little bit of a plan. It's just at least of like, here are the things we're going to take them on and or take her on and here are the things we're not going to, that kind of thing. Cause I could bring, I could bring a young kid on like, Pirates of the Caribbean or Haunted Mansion, but should I? I don't know. Right? Like,
it's very hit and miss. Like,
it is.
Sometimes they're okay. Sometimes they're not. So
I think we're going to push it with Haunted Mansion with my 4-year-old. We watch videos of it.
I think it's a good age.
Yeah, no, I think she'll be okay. Now Pirates of the Caribbean, not so sure. Maybe or maybe not. I don't know. But
that's funny you say that, because I reverse those two in terms of which one's worse. But again, my son grew up with pirates and stuff anyway, so to him that was far more exciting than scary. So,
I just don't know. I mean, I want to say yes, like let's do it, right? But like I just don't know how she's going to react, right? So I think we're probably going to take it easy and see how she does with some of the other rides, and then it's really just that drop in the dark that we're worried about. Outside of that, it should be fine, right? But like the drop in the dark is the part that we don't know how she'd react to. But I think I talked about this where I've been watching. I've been showing her videos of some of the rides that we're going to go on, right? Like showing her like videos on YouTube of like ride throughs, and I think that's really given her expectations of what she's going to see, but also just be like I get to see her reaction to it. Like yesterday, we watched Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And she like literally after it was done, she goes, "I want to watch that again." We ended up watching it like 10 times. So she's pumped. She's pumped for that ride, which makes sense because she loves Mickey. So, and Minnie, obviously. So, I don't know. I mean, I think those are the biggest tips. That's all I got on that.
Okay, good. All right, let's. So I think this next question is pretty quick. When's the Welcome Home podcast cruise going to happen? No. I don't know. Ask Tom and Damon because it's not going to be me coming.
I mean, it's probably. I don't know. It might happen at some point. I mean, I've talked with my wife about doing a cruise maybe like next year or the year after. So it's probably going to be less of a podcast themed cruise and more of, hey, one of us is on a cruise. Come say hi if you're here. That kind of deal. So Dan wants to know, and Dan, I don't know what's with Dan lately with the serious questions. Like I need like Dan, like, how to load your dishwasher questions. Like, I don't know what's going on lately with him, but
are you okay, Dan?
You okay, Dan? Yeah.
Send us a signal.
Yeah. Give us a 5-star review if you're okay.
Yes.
1 star if you're not. If you were to host a panel at D23, what would be your headline topic? Now, is this supposed to be what we would want to talk about or what we feel as though we're experts on?
Well, I have the easy, funny response to this.
What?
my panel would be about how we're going to fix the Yeti.
Well, yeah, that's. I mean, from a technical standpoint, are you going to be up there with diagrams, being like, okay,
it would just be a presentation on, we're going to pull them out, and the chopper is going to lift them out, and we're going to fix it, and it'll be back up by next year. Like,
You're just
Thank
going
you
to have
for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah, you're gonna have a PowerPoint with one slide and one bullet that just says "just fix it."
Yeah,
fix it already.
Exactly.
Why haven't you fixed it yet? Why are you still reading this? Fix it. Someday. So that's the answer there. I think mine would be I would love to do something or be part of something around just like Imagineering stuff. Like you guys know I'm a big nerd for the Imagineering stuff and. The design around this stuff and the technology that they use and all that kind of thing. So, I would love to do something like that, but I'm not going to profess to be an expert, but, even just like the history and, all that fun stuff. So, yeah. All right. And then you want to do Rogers really quickly here?
Yeah. Roger says, my wife and I will be at WDW at the end of this month for a few weeks. One day we will visit all 4 parks. Can you even do that?
In one day? Yeah, you can make it happen. Yeah.
But you still can't get in for park hopping until after 2 though, right?
Yeah, that's true. Can you do multiple parks after 2 though?
That
makes the challenge a lot harder.
So Roger, I hope you can do this, but I'm curious if you can do this. So the rest of his question was, we want to make this challenging by doing certain things at each park. For instance, ride a new attraction at each park, eat an ice cream-based snack at each park, get a picture with a Disney character at each park. You get the idea. Question is, what are some of the other ideas we'd have to accomplish at each park?
Ooh. Trade a pin?
Yeah. I was going to say trade a pin. Get a pressed penny, I think might be a relatively easy one. What else could you do that's at each park? I mean, I guess watch a show.
Yeah, that make it tough though, right?
That's a hard one because then you have to juggle schedules, right? Like,
see, you also like if you're gonna do this, right, and you want to make it challenging, you can't make it like a ride that's like not popular, right? Like you can't just go to Magic Kingdom and ride like the People Mover or Teacup or the Carousel or Carousel of Progress, right? Like that's not allowable. You need to do something that at least has a half-hour wait, right? Like
minimum something on Genie Plus.
Okay, yeah,
I think is fair. Like,
yeah, sure, yeah.
Because all those rides, have fast pass return times, right?
Yeah.
Which I guess I don't know. Like I don't think Teacups is on. I don't know. I'd have to look.
It might be, but I doubt it. I'm just looking at the Park Hopper webpage, and I don't see where it says you can't park hop after the second park. But maybe I'm just missing it while I'm talking here. But
so that's fair. I mean, it's I don't know what the specific rule is around that, but yeah, like I said, the challenge is as far as I know, you still can't park hop before 2.
You can't. So then that's still in place. Yeah, it's just whether you can park to a third park and a fourth park after 2. So that makes it more challenging because you got to stay in that first park till 2:00. Well, you don't have to stay there.
So that really shortens up the amount of time you can get stuff done in the other parks. And yeah, for shows that, most shows are done before dinner. So I don't think you could do a show in each park.
I think you need to do at least a picture in front of the would you call it the icon, the landmark, the main thing for each park, right? So Magic Kingdom, you need a picture in front of the castle. Epcot, Spaceship Earth, Animal Kingdom, tree. Yeah,
I got it. It's so you have to get those magic shots in each park.
Okay, I like that.
The zoom out ones that they do. That's what you have to do. You have to go and find where they do those magic shots and do that in each park.
I do like the idea of having a snack at each park, though, too. An ice cream-based snack.
Well, I would have a snack in each park anyway. I mean,
of course.
That's not a challenge. I'm just doing it.
Yeah. You could also do, drinking around the parks. You could have an alcoholic beverage in each park, but that seems like a bad idea. Actually, Magic Kingdom, that's going to be a tough one, though. You'd have to have a sit-down. But anyway... I think that covers it. I think that's those are some good ones. I hope you can pull this off. It is going to be very challenging for you with the limited park hopper hours. So
I hope Roger, I hope you're in the group because we would like to hear a bit of a trip report on this on how it goes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. So all right, so why don't we go ahead and do our ad since we're done with our listener questions this week?
Yep.
All right. So our ad this week is for DVC Resale Market. They have sponsored this episode. So DVC Resale Market, a World of DVC company, is the leader in the DVC resale industry with 13 former Disney Vacation Club guides and 3 former Disney Vacation Club quality assurance managers. If you're thinking of buying DVC, browse the largest selection of DVC resale listings anywhere, with DVC experts on hand 7 days a week to answer your questions. If you're thinking of selling, turn to the friendly professionals at DVC Resale Market, where over 98% of listings sell within 30 days. In 2021, DVC Resale Market helped over 4,400 families join or add on to their memberships. Go to dvcresalemarket.com or call 1-844-DVC Pros. That's 1-844-382-7767. And when you speak to them, be sure to let them know that Welcome Home sent you. All right.
Okay.
Actually have some more DVC news.
Yeah. So this first one we have on here is I like the article title. So we got this from dvcnews.com.
Yeah.
Moonlight Magic keeps coming in 2022 with another date at Typhoon Lagoon. So kind of last minute they added on a few more dates for the Typhoon Lagoon.
In September.
Yeah. So September 8th, and is that the only one?
Yeah, I think they just added one more date.
Okay. So yeah, I saw. What I was thinking of was the registration date. So yes, for people staying on site, it's August 11th is when you can book, and for general registration, it's August 16th.
Yep. Yeah. So this article, they were mentioning that 3 of the Moonlight Magic dates are right before the general registration. They announced that this new event was happening. So it does feel like they're just wanting to do more of these events, and they can't get time for them in the main parks, so they're tossing them to Typhoon. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But like that's kind of how it feels. But which is fine.
And I feel this is backing up what I said previously about how Disney DVC has to negotiate with Disney proper on getting these dates, because it seems like this was something like, why would they announce it so late unless it wasn't solidified? And yeah, you're probably right. It's probably that they couldn't get the dates they wanted in other parks. And so they're going, okay, well, can we do Typhoon Lagoon? Right. So
yeah. And technically the next couple months, like starting at the end of August, is like the quote slow period for Disney, right? Until we get to Christmas. Right. So, but it's really, there are no slow periods anymore, but it's slow.
I was gonna say, I can't imagine how the fall is slow anymore. Like,
I know
there's so much going on.
But people go back to school. Kids go back to school. So traditionally,
it was got all the parties and everything. Like,
I don't know. Well, that's the other thing, right? So it's funny because I have not seen anything yet about Magic Kingdom being decorated yet for Halloween, and I think the first Halloween party is the 12th, right? It's coming up here. It's coming up in a few days.
Yeah, 5 days from when we're recording this. Because we're recording on a Sunday, so it'll be
this coming Friday, right? So they're gonna. I know they do these decorations like overnight and everything, but yeah, man, it's just funny. I forget sometimes that Halloween starts in August at Disney, so because it doesn't feel like we're anywhere close to Halloween, and we really aren't. But it's just it's just weird.
Disney. I get it. They want to get as many people in the door as possible, and it's clearly a very profitable thing for them to do. But yeah, it's still it's crazy. Like I've said before, my only worry is, they keep extending these things out, and then it hits a point where it's like, well, it's not even special anymore because they're just doing it all year round, right? Like,
I actually think that I think they've only sold out a couple dates this time around. Maybe that has to do with, the higher price point. And, maybe they finally have hit too expensive, which, it's possible.
So before we go too far down this, is there anything else we want to say about Moonlight Magic before we start talking the parties?
No, listen, I think it's great. Yeah. I think it's great that they're trying to add more, right? Like I think it's a good thing. I'm glad that they're trying to add more of these events because, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, some people thought these were never coming back, right? Like some people thought these were done, or that they were going to make them, you had to pay for them or something like that. And lo and behold, DVC comes back and they're like, no, we're going to do them, and they're still going to be free of charge. And, Yeah, I hope this means next year we're going to have like kind of back to like 2019 schedule where it's hey, here's the whole year, and here's all the,
we're going to do it at all these parks. Like, I hope that, this year sounds like, they're just trying to fit it in where they can. And, them adding this last date in, kind of tells me, they're pushing it for sure, which, hopefully that means come next year, we have more options.
Well, and I'm excited to hear Damon's review of the Typhoon Lagoon one that he's going to, right? So I think, is that tonight or tomorrow? I don't remember.
I thought it was tonight, the 7th. Yeah. That sounds right. And I don't want to jinx it, but he's going to break the curse if he does this, right? Like we've talked about it, and
he's going to send a message to us like, "Oh, we're all too tired."
I didn't go. I'll be like, "No,
the kids win. I didn't go." Actually, he said he's really excited to go to this, so I think he is going to make a point to go. So it's always funny with Damon. I don't know if he's going to listen to this on his way home, but like I feel like Damon always like has like an opinion on something up front, and then he goes and does it, and he's like, "Oh, okay, this is better than I thought it was going to be." Like So anyway, we'll have to see how that goes. Wait here. The other Moonlight Magics at Typhoon Lagoon are set to take place August 9th. So that looks like it's on his last night, I guess. So yeah. It was right there in the article.
Tuesday, we just, I'm not reading that far down.
We didn't read that far down. I put a lot of text in there. So along the line of what we were just talking about, with the Halloween party, Disney's not so spooky, spectacular dessert party pricing is revealed. Now, I forgot that this was a thing, not going to lie, because this to me is so over the top of you are already paying over $100 a ticket to get into Mickey's Not So Scary, and then you're paying another $115 on top of that to do a special dessert party. Like, it's an absurd amount of money.
I did this once, but not at this price point. It was far cheaper when I did it. My biggest takeaway from it was we did the Halloween party and we stopped for this dessert party, and we all agreed that this dessert party was not worth it.
Oh yeah.
Because you waste so much time being at that dessert party. And again, it was great. We got a great view for the fireworks, but that's only the one part of the party, right? Like it cut into time that we could have used elsewhere is how I felt about it. So, and I'm not saying, anybody else that wants to do this, if you want to do it, great. But like you're saying, Tom, it's, for a single person, you're talking, well over $200 just for, an evening at a Halloween party, and then desserts with, prime firework viewing spot. Right.
And that's, and that's the thing to me. Like if you're at that party, I'm going to be looking at you and be like, oh, you're rich. You got a lot of money. Cause you don't care about how much this costs. Cause this is like, and also for me, I don't even have as much of a problem with the price as I do of, I already paid for this party and there's a limited amount of time I can enjoy this party. So why am I going to pay for another thing that's going to take time out of this party that I'm enjoying? You know what I mean? Like, which it kind of isn't, right? Because it's part of it. You're like watching the fireworks and stuff. But I don't know, man, like $115 a head is rough.
and this is the other thing. Yeah. I think when we did it, it was like 65 or something like that. So like half the price of this, but even at that, it was still like we agreed it was like, we're doing this once and again. The funny thing too, that we thought about, and folks, we're just going to slam on this because I don't think me or Tom think this is a good idea, but
if you want to do it, do it. Do it.
But we agreed afterwards, like we went to the dessert party, but then, you have the trick or treat trails as well at the Halloween party.
Yeah.
So you have all the, your kids are obviously collecting candy, but then you just go and sit down and have a dessert party, which, like you said, it's all just, it's so over the top. Like,
it's a lot.
Yeah. And I recall, like with my son, that was the one night after we were done there, we were walking back to the hotel room, and that was one of the few times where he was like, I don't feel so good. I ate way too much junk food. And we were like, okay, we need to dial this back a little bit. Like too much.
Look, I mean, we've done dessert parties in the past too, right? Like we've done a bunch of them, and I'm not going to besmirch anybody for wanting to do one, right? Especially for like if you want to do it as a one and done, if you want to treat yourself, whatever, that's fine.
I'll do them any other time, but at the Halloween party.
Yeah, that's just this one just feels extra to me. I also feel like them doing it as a separate event is kind of weird, right? Like, so I almost feel like it should be like an add-on to the original ticket. You know what I mean? Where it should be like, you can do, you can do this $109 ticket. I think that's the low point, right? And then, add on the dessert party for another $70, and then like have it be like something you can just add on and have it be part of it, as opposed to two separate things that you're paying for. That makes it feel worse, I feel like, in a lot of ways. Interestingly, going back to our dining reservation discussion from before, one of the new things I noticed that this was not something I noticed before. Now, when you make a dining reservation, they one of the steps, they show you the celebration cakes, and you can order the celebration cakes ahead of time. Like the little Mickey dome cake, and like they have it right there in the reservation flow, right? Like, so you can just, I booked my reservation. Oh, I'm celebrating for a birthday. Click, add on, done, right? Like, that's what I'm thinking this should be, right? Where it's like you're going through the reservation process, and they're like, hey, you want to spend an extra $70 ahead? Which is, it's obviously a lot more than that because it's $115 a person. And for some days, that's more expensive than this Mickey's Not So Scary ticket itself. So I don't know, man. This is a lot.
Yeah. Like I said, I did it once, and we've done multiple dessert parties, and this was the one that we actually regret doing. So, and like I said, that's just me personally. I'm not judging anybody else's take on it. It's a lot. It's, you're already, like you said, you're already paying so much money, and then this is a bunch more money. But then, like I said, the actual activity though is, it totally undermines what the Halloween party is, which is, your kids are going to be eating, they're going to be trick-or-treating. They're going to be eating candy. There's other stuff to try at the there's specific stuff that they offer at the Halloween parties, but then you pay for this dessert party, which again, the spread of stuff they have at those dessert parties is amazing.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
But like I said, in our particular case, it was a bit of a sugar overload, and we realized afterwards that this was probably not the best use of our time or our money for that particular party. So.
I'll also say this too, and this might be controversial to somebody, I don't know, but Tomorrowland Terrace is kind of a terrible place to watch fireworks from. Like, You're blocked, like, unless you're right on the railing there, you're blocked by trees. I don't think it's a good place for reserved firework viewing. I'd much rather be up in the hub, like, on one of those grassy areas.
For this one, they don't offer the hub viewing.
They don't. They should. Like, that should be like, this might be worth it if they had a roped off area in the hub. Because we did a Tomorrowland Terrace dessert party to treat ourselves one time, and that was the worst dessert party we had done because you really didn't get a good view of the fireworks. Like, it just, you could see the fireworks, but you couldn't see all the projections on the castle very well.
Because you're kind of off to the side, right?
Yeah, you're off to the side. Yeah, it's just not good. The best one we ever did, we did a sparkling dessert party for Illuminations years ago. And like the dessert party was in that event space that they have that's like tucked back in the World Showcase over there, where they do some food and wine stuff. And they were doing like, it wasn't like your regular dessert party. They were doing like fresh stuff, right? Like, so they were like flambeing, like, I think they were making like flambéed churros or something. And like, there was another thing that there was like stations, and it was much fancier, Yeah,
I did that for a Star Wars one where they did the I know what you're talking about, because they did the ice cream balls, but like, where they dipped them in liquid nitrogen.
Oh yeah, they did stuff like that. Yeah.
So it's like, you're hitting up stations, and it's very like, it's not just like, here's desserts. It's like, here's something really different, right?
And they gave us and we had like champagne, like, so we had a champagne flute, and we like, and then they walked us out to a private viewing area, and that was perfect. The food was great. It was well worth what we paid for it, and we got this private viewing area for Illuminations. It was fantastic. We loved it. and I mean, I'm actually just reading this one too. By the way, like the stuff that's included now, there is some alcohol included, so that's part of why it's expensive. But I'm also looking at this too: chocolate dip strawberries, cupcakes, seasonal fruits and cheeses, and other ghoulish goodies. That's $115.
Yeah,
chocolate dip strawberries. Come on,
this is exactly what every other dessert party at Tomorrowland Terrace offers, but it'll be obviously very, they'll have the Halloween specific treats.
Yeah,
but it's still if you can do this dessert party any time of year, and you get the same spread of stuff.
Yeah.
So, again, all of these things, this kind of, to me, is the worst option for a dessert party because, like you said, you're doubling down on it. You're paying for the Halloween party and this.
Yeah.
And it doesn't offer anything special. Like I know it's a dessert party, but it doesn't offer anything that you couldn't get any other time of year.
100%. I agree.
Yeah.
All right. I think we talked enough about that one.
Okay. Yeah. Let's move on. I saw you added some back to school stuff on here, which is, I don't think we've ever looked at this kind of stuff before.
Kind of a weird thing. It was more of just like, oh, here's some cool merch to look at.
Yeah. I was scrolling through this and it's funny. Unfortunately, I am at a phase now where my son is old enough. We don't really do back to school shopping other than, he obviously wants new clothes, but because he's a teenager, it's totally different. And none of this stuff is interesting, but I will admit, as I was scrolling through this, I saw there was a couple of those Star Wars lunch bags. I would totally rock one of those for taking to the office myself.
Well, I thought this one Mickey Mouse backpack looked cool. The tan one. That one I thought was pretty cool. I thought the Spider-Man one was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. I don't know, what is this?
There's that pencil case thing that
there's like gadget case.
I remember they had those when I was a kid and they looked cool, but all the little bits and pieces would go missing and
true.
It's it's a fun thing, but I would never buy it as a practical thing for my kid.
That's fair. And then they have a Turning Red a box,
the lunchbox.
Yeah, like that's pretty cool. Which did you ever end up watching Turning Red? I don't remember.
I did. Turning Red was really good.
I loved Turning Red. I thought it was great.
Yeah. I liked. It definitely had a Canadian vibe to it. I'm sure some of the jokes may have been missed.
It's possible.
Yeah, we actually freaked out a little bit when there was the one scene where the dad is sitting at the table eating Timbits. From Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh yeah, Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
Which again, I know it's stupid, but
that's cool.
It was a good show. Yeah.
No, I liked it. I thought it was really funny, and it was also definitely the weirdest thing I think Pixar's ever made, but I liked that. I liked that it was so out there, and they did a really different animation style that they normally do, and it was funny. It was really funny and really well done. Anyway, that was an aside, but
but I'm surprised that this is the only thing Seeing Red on here, because I mean it's funny because Seeing Red, the whole
Turning Red
part of it, Turning Red, Turning Red. The whole part of it was the girls were selling merch at the school, right?
Yeah.
They totally could have capitalized on something like that.
Yeah, they really could. Wait, so were you talking about the Star Wars action figure stainless steel water bottle? Is that you want?
No, there's the lunchbox. There's the X-Wing lunch bag and the one that looks like a hand-drawn R2-D2 on it next to the Turning Red lunch bag. I
mean, but the action figure water bottle looks pretty cool too.
I didn't look at that. Yeah,
it's very retro.
That is very 80s, and I like that.
Is. Although it has 2 reviews on Shop Disney, and they're both 1 star. So although I don't know how a bottle could be that bad, but okay.
I will say this. I had bought a coffee cup from Galaxy's Edge back when, the first time that we went.
Yeah.
And I'd used it for a while, and the bottom actually rusted out on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, I got maybe a couple of months out of it, and then I had to stop using it because, it was falling apart.
It seems the problem here is that the decals on the outside of the bottle fall off. So, so anyway, but yeah, no, I just wanted to put this on here because I thought there was some interesting merchandise on there, and thought that it would be interesting to talk about. So, yeah, and I was right. The Spider-Man hoodie's pretty cool too, actually. Now that I'm going up there,
that would have been a thing again if my son was 5 years younger. I would be finding one of those for him, but it's great stuff for younger kids for sure.
How do you feel about the Star Wars button down that has all these postcards on it that said that are like Star Wars locations? Did you click on that one? That one's pretty fun.
I didn't look close at it. I didn't realize they were postcards.
Oh yeah, so they're postcards. Yeah. It's like there's one that says "Welcome to Hoth." What is this other one over here? Welcome to Cloud City. It's pretty cool, actually. I like it. I kind of like it. I mean, I'm not a huge Star Wars guy, but if I was,
I feel like that's kind of a cool way to do it. But I feel like each of those as their own shirt would be better. Like,
that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Like postcard. I actually kind of like that. I found a few places that are doing that now. That seems like the new hot thing is like taking a fantasy location from a show and doing like I've seen a lot of shirts where it's like Welcome to Hawkins from like Stranger Things and stuff that. I like it, but like I said, this particular one, it's I kind of scrolled past it because I was like, oh yeah, okay, it's got some Star Wars stuff on it. But if I look closer, I would have been like, hey, that's cool. But that's where I think it would have done better if it was each of these as their own shirt.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of dead space on that shirt. But it's it's funny you say that because I do have a Stranger Things shirts. See, like I don't like, and this is really funny. I'm weird like this. I don't like anything that says the name of the show or the movie on the shirt. I like things that are references that you have to figure out.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm the same way. I will do the same thing with shirts that I buy. It's like, oh yeah, I get the reference, and if somebody sees it, they may get the reference, but it's not just a billboard for whatever show it is, right?
Well, and that's so like I bought one that says Hawkins AV Club, and because I was in the AV club, right? So like in high school, I was in the AV club. So like for me, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And every once in a while, when I wear it, somebody will go, oh, it's Stranger Things. I was like, yeah, it is. But although they kind of abandoned the whole AV club thing after like season 3 or something like that. But
season 2, or I guess. Well, because Dusty went off to he had the Cerebro in season 3.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we could talk about Stranger Things for a while too.
It was just a Stranger Things podcast. I hate when somebody buys me a shirt that has the name of the thing on it. I'm like, no, I don't want the name of the thing anywhere near my shirt. So anyway,
you got to figure it out.
You have to look at it and realize it's a reference to something and figure that out. So, so I guess I should have put this with the not so scary Halloween party stuff because we have a list of all the food, and I know some people like when we talk about food, and some people hate it. But
this goes back to what I was talking about with
dessert party. Yeah,
this versus the dessert party. There is a whole lineup of stuff you can get at the Halloween party.
Yep.
That I mean, again, it's all you got to pay for it, but some of this doesn't look very good.
You mean the hot dog with
that hot dog is not good
with the hot Doritos on top of it?
I'm looking at the one with the purple ketchup or whatever that is.
Where are we at? Purple ketchup.
Sorry, I kind of scrolled down.
You went way far down. I was still at the top here.
Okay, yeah. So the hot Cheetos one, that's a pass.
What is this green drink? That looks kind of cool.
Is that no? That's not the apple milkshake.
I think that's the Elixir of Youth, maybe black tea slushy.
Winifred's Elixir of Youth, black tea slushy with kiwi foam and Winifred chocolate pieces. So that's a Hocus Pocus one, but oh man, that kiwi foam
looks interesting.
Don't do kiwi foam.
It looks like something I've found in a tissue when I blow my nose, like after being sick. Like it looks like goo. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Oh, the Cheshire Cat. You got they're saying this is new, but they've been selling these cattails at over by the the teacups for like ever. So so they just threw a cat chocolate on top of it, and now it's new.
Ta-da.
What is that? Yeah, ta-da, new thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been selling that exact cattail forever. I mean, don't get me wrong, cattail's delicious. So, like,
up here we have beaver tails, so I know.
Yeah,
I think it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's probably the same thing. Yeah.
Canadian, we have to call them beaver tails.
Yeah,
whatever.
That's fair. Let's see what else.
The Cold Witches brew coffee. I didn't realize that's coffee. Again, why would you? I mean, okay, maybe it's just me, but if I'm going to a Halloween party, which is at night, I'm not drinking coffee.
Maybe you need to stay up, though. You need it to stay up.
Yeah, but I also don't need to be up until 3 a.m. twitching because of the coffee. But I will say that looks better than the kiwi foam. Like the orange with the coffee, that looks good.
I will note that they're saying this is available during regular park hours as well as the Halloween.
Okay, so
not a Halloween party exclusive. So
I could hit that up in the morning. That's fine.
Yeah. What is going on with this burger at Cosmic Rex?
Is that a sausage or a hot dog cut in half on it?
It's an andouille sausage and garlic pickles. I mean, maybe it tastes better than it looks.
It looks a little busy.
I think it's the sauce that's throwing me off. I think the sauce looks a little gross. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. And then right next, the problem is that they put that right next to the Hades hot dog, which is that one I was talking about with the purple.
Oh, the purple, yeah.
It's purple mustard. It's not even.
I don't know if this was a thing in Canada, but there was a time, and I want to say it was the early 2000s. The colored ketchup, they were selling, yeah.
The crazy or extreme ketchup or whatever. Yeah,
it was like Heinz or whatever. They were selling like green ketchup and purple ketchup, and I wonder whatever happened to that. I guess it didn't do well.
Yeah, it's called too much dye in your food. And
there's just
is not. I don't want to eat crayons.
Yeah, that's fair. I will say I'm always a sucker for anything that includes tater tots and is covered in cheese sauce.
And I can respect that they made these cocoa.
Yeah,
referenced.
That is kind of cool. So they're called Un Poco Loco Tots, chorizo sausage, green onion, and Hades cheese sauce. I don't know if that means it's spicy or they're just calling it Hades cheese sauce, but I mean,
I would assume spicy.
Yeah, I would eat that. I like this little fried pie too, although I thought it was going to be sweet, and it's actually buffalo chicken, mozzarella, and blue cheese. So I'm out on the blue cheese. I just thought it looked kind of cool with the candy eye on it.
that looks like a Danger Pop Tart.
Yeah,
yeah. You could buy someone one of those and not tell them what's in it.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, because it could be like super spicy, right? I mean, there's
that'd be a fun
aioli. Yeah.
That'd be a fun reaction video type thing to do, like giving someone Beverly, right?
yeah, exactly. Is that supposed to be that's supposed to be like the book from?
It's the book, it's the book from Hocus Pocus.
I'm not a Hocus Pocus expert, so I'm I'll be honest, I'm not. That's not my jam. So
okay, fair enough.
I mean, I'm not like I don't hate it. It's just not my thing.
I've watched it enough to get the references.
I will tell you, my favorite thing I've seen on here so far is this monster cookie ice cream sandwich. It's a pretty basic ice cream sandwich, but they're like monster cookies, so they're like got all sorts of sprinkles on top. And again, I'm a sucker for an ice cream sandwich.
It's rolled in these sprinkles.
Yeah. Although this cupcake looks really good too. Although as soon as I see pumpkin spice, I'm out though. Like it just looks cool, but I hate pumpkin spice. I know I'm probably a minority here, but
sorry, I'm just looking at it looks like this thing is lit up. Or is that just
I think it's just the shine. I think it's just the shine on it.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I think it's just a shine on it because it's a pumpkin spice cupcake with cinnamon cream cheese icing finished with dark chocolate ears. Again, this is something that's available during regular hours too. So
yes, I would stop for that.
Yeah.
And then okay.
Oh my God. What in the world is this?
Okay, where is okay.
They don't even have this described anywhere.
No, sweet almond. No, this is sweet almond corn cake.
Oh, okay. So it's not an actual corn on the cob. Okay. So for everybody listening, obviously, we're looking at a picture. We're going to have to post this
on. Yeah, you got to put this on when we post the podcast. My gosh.
It looks like a corn cob, and it looks like there's just some stuff drizzled on it and some candy corn thrown on it. And when I looked at it, I thought it was an actual corn cob, but it's actually a cake.
Yeah. Okay. Candy corn on a corn cob. That is such a bad idea.
But like this, I might eat it though. Almond vanilla cake dipped in white, orange, and yellow chocolate topped with candy corn. Okay, all right, I would eat that.
See, I don't like candy corn to begin with, so I would pass. I would not I would pick off the candy corn and probably eat the rest of it, but it just looks so unappetizing. Like,
I will say though, I am totally here for all the cocoa theming that's showing up here. I mean, Mexican spiced hot cocoa brownie, spiced chocolate brownie with dark chocolate ganache, topped with the Miguel chocolate piece. Not only does it look cool, that sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds delicious, right? Like, I love that they're throwing cocoa into this too. That's really cool. Because did they do that last year? I mean, I guess we didn't have Mickey's Not So Scary last year. We had After Hours, but
yeah, and the thing is, I feel like a lot of the cocoa stuff was around the Mexico pavilion for the longest time.
Yeah.
And I think this is the first time that they've really brought it into the Halloween party that I know they've had cocoa in the floats and stuff like that, or they've had Miguel in the floats, but it's it hasn't been a big part of the party, whereas it hasn't been in Magic Kingdom the same way it's been in California Adventure and Disneyland. Cocoa's been a very big part of those celebrations. But it's nice that they're finally bringing it into the Florida parks as well.
It is. Yeah, no, I'm really glad to see that. There's also there's some milkshake here that looks like it's a dairy free. So there's a good one for you.
Yes,
coconut and matcha blended.
I'm here for that.
Yeah, you like that one? Yeah, the coconut matcha blended soft serve topped with whipped cream, Gravedigger shovel, and chocolate gravestone. It looks pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not my thing because I don't really matcha, but you know.
Yeah, I like matcha and I like coconut, and again, non-dairy means I can have it and not worry about it ruining my night. So, although
it doesn't say non-dairy on here, I should mention that. But the fact that it's coconut and matcha, I mean, I guess as long as you don't eat the chocolate gravestone.
Well, okay, I can get away with that, and even the whipped cream, like it's the difference. Like I can have a little bit, but if it was just straight milkshake, I can't do that.
Yeah, the shake itself is non-dairy, right? But the rest of it's got some dairy going on.
Yeah.
Oh, peanut butter. M&M's peanut butter churro. Yes, that's a yes for me. I'll eat that.
Yep. And what is this jack-o'-lantern float? Oh, this is a citrus swirl with Fanta orange. Okay.
That's all right. Yeah. Brown sugar whipped cream. Okay. Graham cracker crumbs. All right.
Whoa.
I had a graham cracker ice cream yesterday. It was graham cracker and chocolate pieces in it, which seems like it would not be good, but it was delicious.
Yeah, that like the initially I just thought this was like another float or like a Dole Whip type float, but the more I'm reading this is okay, this looks good, and of course the Fanta makes it neon orange too. So
yeah, and by the way, most of this stuff is available during the day. Yeah,
outside of the Halloween party, but. Like I said, if you're planning to go to the Halloween party, you kind of want to hit some of these things up as you're walking around. Like, because, even if you are going, you don't have kids, you may do the trick or treat trails, but it's, like this is way better to me than paying $100+
for sure.
For a dessert party.
No, I totally agree. And
that corn. Oh, that corn.
I'll eat it. I'll try it.
But that cake, I keep it's throwing me off. Like I'm just imagining how bad it tastes.
I think it could be good. I would try it.
No, I'm imagining the concept of corn on the cob with candy corn on it.
Oh, the actual, if it was actually that, no, that's
that's the problem. Is the visual is throwing me off of what it actually is.
Yeah, that's fair. I do like the idea of candy corn on the cob, though. That's kind of a funny thing to do. Like it's a funny joke, but
I mean, it's definitely a trick or treat thing, and I get that's the whole point of this is these are tricks and treats, so that they're meant to mess with you.
Yep.
But that's
well,
do that to me.
And I think we should end here with what's soon to be the hot new item at Disney World, the Glow Mickey Mummy Premium popcorn bucket. So this is the new popcorn bucket they're doing. It's Mickey dressed up like a mummy holding a pumpkin. These are going to sell out very quickly.
It's no Figment bucket, but
I mean, it's no Figment bucket. I'll agree with you, but I think it's a pretty cool bucket. And what's bothering me more is that they're listing a Donald candy corn sipper on here, but they're not showing a picture of it because it's not supposed to show up till early October. But I would love to see what that looks like.
We need a Donald bucket. We don't have a Donald bucket.
That's what I'm saying. I need a Donald bucket. I want a Donald bucket that every time I open the top, he like yells at me in like the exasperated Donald voice, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's what I want every time I open it. It's just, stay away from my popcorn. And, I'm not going to try to do an impression.
In that Donald Duck voice, it says, don't touch my popcorn or something like that.
Yeah, I would just open that and close it all day long. Like I would annoy everyone around me.
You would be like those kids in the park that, sorry folks, if you buy your kids those bubble ones, great for you. But the ones that like, they light up, they've got the noise, they got the bubbles, and it's just like, they're just obnoxious, right? And the kids don't know to stop pushing the button. Like it just goes forever.
I always think of those ones that were light up and you'd press the button and it would have like these like little things on the outside that would like spin really fast and you'd just be walking by and some kid would clock you with one of them,
because they're just waving them around and it gets you in the back of the leg or whatever.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I
mean, you also get one of my favorite people I've ever seen at a Disney park though was a person that was in a scooter and was just literally just driving their scooter through Epcot, holding down the button on their bubble maker. And they were just like having the best old time. They're just literally driving around their scooter, spreading bubbles throughout Epcot. I mean, I know a lot of people would be annoyed by that. I just thought it was kind of cool.
Well, okay. That's okay. Cause they're moving around and, I guess there's the difference between that and it's like, I've been in lines where it's like the kid in front of me in the line. Yeah. It just has the button held down on the thing and they don't stop. And it's just like,
it's enough already. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you want to do that, great. But if I'm forced to be in a confined space with you and you're doing it, like, don't.
This is one of my big Disney pet peeves is I feel like that there are a lot of parents that just let their kids do whatever. And like, if a kid runs into me or something, like at least say to me like, hey, I'm so sorry my kid did that. Like half the time these kids do stuff that they shouldn't be doing and then no one says anything. And it just drives me kind of crazy. But
same to me because I spent a long time, teaching my son, hey, don't do that. Don't bump into people. Don't, think about what you do. Even like, he would always want to sit on the rails and I would say no, because one, if you fall over backwards, it's not going to, it's not going to turn out well. And two, the other people around you want to use the rail as well. And if you're sitting on it, like,
let's see, that's like just you're being polite and being a decent human being. Like
exactly. Yeah.
Well, remember when you and I were there and we were at Harmonious, like we saw people going and standing on the handrails and holding onto one of the trees. And then someone tried to stand on top of one of the garbage cans. Like, what is wrong with people? Like,
I don't get it. Like I was not raised that way. So
it's like people just feel like they could just destroy whatever they want at Disney because they paid a lot to go there. It's just like,
or someone will clean it up. Like, but
luckily,
I still would.
Go ahead, sorry.
The whole someone else will clean it up thing, I think is the worst concept because it's like, but if someone did that to you, how would you feel? Like,
yeah, absolutely. Well, luckily the people that tried to stand on the garbage can and the railings decided it was a poor idea. I don't know. I don't remember if anybody yelled at them or they just were like,
no, I think a bad idea. One of them almost fell.
Yeah.
And then they realized that, hey, this might be dangerous.
It's just, I mean, but like you see this all, it's not even just with kids now, right? Like, because I remember I saw there was a couple months ago, there were some people that like got down into like the bottom part of like the World Showcase Lagoon, like, where some of the props are, and we're down there smoking. And it's like,
because
you're
you're
obviously not allowed down there.
No one would notice that they were there except everyone could see them.
Literally everyone. It's like, what do you like? Why do people think they're allowed to do this kind of stuff? Or the people that climb the Mexico Pavilion, or there was the one too. There was the kid that climbed the giant tower. I think it was at Coronado in the pool, and like just bystanders had to go save them. It was like, where's that kid's parents? Like just allowing that to happen. Just this kind of stuff drives me nuts. So anyway, that's my rant.
Right there with you. I don't pretend to understand people.
I know. Like, listen, I'm telling you right now, like if my kid does something even to mildly inconvenience you, I'm going to tell you sorry, and I'm going to make her tell you sorry. So like, that's how I roll. Like,
and it's just like you said, it's manners. It's making sure that, hey, we're all there to have fun. And part of that means, you respect the people around you,
yeah.
which, it shouldn't be that hard. Like, and I get, kids need freedom. They need to, run around and stuff. With my son, that was where we figured out, and this is where I keep advocating for this, places like the Boneyard and, those playgrounds. It's like, they've got them in, there's that one in Epcot by Test Track as well. It's like, if your kid needs to blow off some steam, turn them loose in a place where they can do that, but don't let them turn the ride or the lineup in the ride into a jungle gym.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Although, my favorite is always when you see the kid that tries to sit on the chain in line, and you're like, oh, that's a magnetic chain. You're just going to fall right through that thing. And then they do. And I'm just like,
and then they're trying to figure out how to put it back on the, on the pole. Cause
I hate that I laugh at that, but at the same time, I'm like, you shouldn't have been doing that, and you got immediate karma for it. And
it's the you see it coming from a mile away, and it's like I could stop you, but you'll not actually learn the lesson if I do.
I think it's Soren that has those. That's one that happens all the time, where they just have those magnetic chains, and then people are always leaning on them or sitting on them, and then they fall through, and it's just kind of funny.
I like to call that a teachable moment.
It is. It's a teachable moment. That's right. Anyway, so the last thing I have on the list here is just Disneyland talking about some of the return of the holiday season. World of Colors, Season of Light. You can talk probably to these things better than I can. Have you ever been to Disneyland during the holidays or no?
Yes, we went for Halloween. We didn't go for Christmas. So I actually haven't been to Disneyland at Christmas time, but again, like every other Christmas party, stuff like that, it's fantastic. The one thing I will say, and as they're highlighting here, the celebrations in California Adventure are, it's very different. It's very cool because they do a lot of cultural stuff over there. So it's not just Christmas. There's Navidad, Diwali, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Like it's everything, which is super cool because I never growing up, I didn't know any of these things. I just knew what Christmas was. Yeah. And it's cool going there and seeing a bunch of different cultures represented, and how Disney does it really well. And I have seen videos of I actually think it's really cool the Navidad celebration stuff. Like they actually have like dancers from Mexico and stuff, which is that's very awesome to watch. Like cool. If you ever get a chance, go and check out some of those videos because it's very cool. And again, if you do happen to get a chance to go to Disneyland at the holidays, do so. Like it is something on my to-do list, the same as we've done every other party in Florida. But we just, it's never worked out that we've been there at Christmas yet. World of Color, Season of Light. It's, I can't even describe World of Color to you. Like it's,
I've watched videos. I know what it looks like.
Yeah. It's different though. It's very, I guess, okay. Not Illuminations, but, Harmonious.
Yeah.
Harmonious is actually like,
next level of that, right? Because
I got the same feelings from Harmonious that I got from World of Color, and I think you know what I'm talking about when I was kind of standing there, and you thought I was unhappy, but I was just kind of lost in the moment.
Yeah.
But
I didn't think you were unhappy. I just thought you were unimpressed. Like
no. I think the reaction on my face didn't read what was actually going through my head, which was basically these shows kind of. You can shut down everything else and just get lost in the show. Oh yeah. It's the best way to say it.
No, you're 100% right about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Also a Mirabelle meet and greet. Like, why are they not doing a Mirabelle meet and greet in Disney World? I feel like that'd be hugely popular.
Yeah. Yeah. That's that. I would actually love to go and check that out too. Cause like you said, it's,
yeah, exactly. To your point though, like this is why I love that the cultural representatives are coming back to Epcot. Like, to get all, like, there's just something different about Epcot when they have the cultural representatives there, to you talking about the Mexican dancers coming up and doing, these dances, like there's just something that gets added to it, by having the cultural representatives. So
yeah, it's great that they they don't have Epcot in Disneyland, which is why,
of course, yeah.
a lot of the weird thing is whenever you get out to Disneyland, you'll and I hear this all the time is, it feels like a bizarro version of the park that you're used to. And the thing about California Adventure is it's an amalgamation of Hollywood Studios and Epcot,
which is kind of weird.
Yeah. And actually even further to that, because like the lagoon, like where Pixar Pier is and everything, like that's Pixar Pier. Like that's not even like, I wouldn't even say like, oh yeah, that's like World Showcase. No, it's Pixar Pier. But then they have all the cultural representation stuff there, but it's also Hollywood Studios. Like,
yeah, like the design is like very Hollywood Studios, right? Like,
yeah,
a lot of, yeah. That I've seen, obviously I've seen pictures and stuff like that, and watched, a bajillion things about the park. So,
it's cool. And then, I think the other thing that they mentioned too was, in Disneyland proper, that you have the Christmas Fantasy Parade coming back for the holidays, and the Believe in Holiday Magic Fireworks Spectacular. Or actually, it's Believe ... in Holiday Magic, because
okay,
yeah, they have to emphasize that.
They got to emphasize that. Yeah, that's important. Yeah. That's very important. So.
I just saw this too. Sorry, I got further down to the bottom. They have the Grand Californian will have the gingerbread house.
Yeah,
which looks like the Grand Californian.
It's very cool. Wow. It's very cool looking. Yeah, I love that. And then of course the ride overlays too, right? So the one that you hate, and then the Haunted Mansion meeting.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't hate it. You just don't like what it does to the park.
I just wish it wasn't for like half the year.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? Yeah. So.
And the funny thing about again, Grand Californian is Grand Californian, I feel, is like a mix of the Grand Floridian and Wilderness Lodge.
Okay.
Like it's because they do like the gingerbread house there, and it's a very nice resort. Like it's the best, it's the top tier resort there. But it still has that Wilderness Lodge feel to it, because it actually represents the forests in California, like the redwoods and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, I really want to go back to Disneyland. I'm looking at all this and I'm going, we've been talking about it for a while. When the new tower gets built for DVC, where we are legitimately thinking about doing, East Coast, West Coast alternating every year.
Yeah.
Cause we haven't been in a while, and I do need to get back, because I know things have changed a lot since I've been there. And, it looks like things are getting better. Like, we're past the COVID stuff, and, with all these announcements, like the Christmas parties and stuff like that, it's, I really want to go back now.
Especially if the people mover comes back, right?
I can't wait to see what that announcement is at D23, or how they're going to do that. Cause that'll be weird. I feel like I'll try. This is going to be one of those things that I'm going to try and explain it to my son, and I'm going to be all excited about it. And then we're going to do it, and he's going to be like, okay.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap up. Yeah. I think that's it, man.
Yeah, let's call it here. So, as usual, if you guys want to get a hold of us, make sure you fire us an email at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from you guys. Give us those trip reports, questions, all that kind of stuff. If you want to follow us on social media, check us out on Facebook. It's Welcome Home Podcast. And if you haven't joined the group yet, go check out Welcome Home Disney Waitlist. Like I mentioned earlier on in the podcast, we love hearing you guys share your own stuff in there. We appreciate that everyone is very cool and just excited to share Disney stuff. So if you're not part of that yet, come join us, because it's the best Disney group to be in on Facebook.
Ooh, wow. Look at that. I like that. I like that declarative statement there. It's the best.
Prove me wrong.
Seriously. It's been pretty good. Yeah, the only person that gets bullied in that group is me. So
it's okay, Tom.
No, I need counseling. I'm very hurt by all these things.
Well, so I'll circle back on this, but for anyone that wants to make Tom feel better, give him 5-star reviews. So
there you go. That's good.
That'll help. That'll help Tom feel better.
I like it. Yeah.
Okay. And then also, if you want to follow us on other social media, we're on YouTube as Welcome Home Podcast and Instagram as Welcome Home Pics, which anytime we're at the parks or we do live shows and stuff like that, you can always catch those on those channels. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss anything.
Except for Damon, and if he's not doing anything, but
well, I mean, it's fair. He's there. We don't always have to.
I know. I'm kidding.
do podcast stuff when we're traveling with our
Damon's
families.
Not here, so I get to rip him when he's not here. Like, I mean, I do when he's here too, but
and I can already hear him. He'll just say, "Well, I don't care. I wouldn't have done it anyway." So
he wouldn't have done it. No.
Yeah. But yeah, if you guys want to support the show, go to store.welcomehomepodcast.com and check out the merchandise we got there. There's things like water bottles, there's masks, there's fanny packs because everyone needs a fanny pack. And, all that stuff just helps us keep making the show and doing things like the T-shirt that is coming along, which, we'll have more info about that in the future.
It's almost done.
Yeah, it's getting real close. So yeah, that is coming. Keep an eye out for that. And similarly, if you want to support us through Patreon, go to patreon.com/welcomehomepod and check out the different levels of Patreon supporters we have there, and all of those give you access to the Discord server, which is yet another place that we chat with our listeners. So if you're interested in any of those things, please check it out. And again, it all goes towards helping the podcast just continue to run. And last but not least, if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, leave us those 5-star reviews to help Tom feel better.
Yep.
And, it helps more people find the podcast. Do we have any interesting
We do.
reviews? Okay, let's hear it.
Update from last week. So it turns out that Bob Gurr did have a change of heart and did delete his previous 1-star review calling us lame. And so that was it wasn't a duplicate. It was a delete and then a update to a 5-star. So thank you so much, Bob Gurr, for your contributions to Disney and to giving us a review. Thanks so much. But, if this were the real Bob Gurr, I'd be like, hey, how about we get you on for an interview, talk to you a little bit.
Yeah, I would love to talk to Bob Gurr for even 15 minutes.
That'd be amazing. If only we actually booked guests on the show. We'll make it happen. Let's see. So then we got a new one, though, and this is from OSPE is the name via Apple Podcasts and some weird symbol afterwards. I don't know what that's about. Interestingly, the title of this is Close. Okay.
All right.
But it's a 5-star review, and he says, you guys work great together. People take Damon too seriously. That is true. People do take Damon too seriously. Damon is almost always, joking or like exaggerating for effect, right? So, so yeah, people take him too seriously. But good luck on getting to 200. You have put in some quality work, and I've been listening since day one. You have all come a long way. Wow, you've been listening since day one.
Wow.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's a long time to hang with us for. I mean, it's been a while. So, I mean, and those early episodes were a little rough. So
some days we're still a little rough.
Yeah, we're still a little rough. Yeah, we're still a little rough. But thank you so much for the 5-star review. We really appreciate it. So please review us if you can. We appreciate when you do that. So
yeah.
And I will read it on the show, even if it's a negative one. But please don't make it a negative one. So don't forget to subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, any podcast app out there. You can find us. Just a reminder to our listeners, Welcome Home Podcast is for entertainment only. We are not employed by the Walt Disney Company. As such, all opinions we express in the show are our own. So please consult a DVC representative or Disney cast member for more information about anything we talked about today. Huge thank you to our sponsor, DVC Resale Market, for sponsoring this episode and then for being a very long time sponsor. DVC Resale Market has been there since the very beginning, sponsoring this show. And so check them out. Check out World of DVC. They have been great partners and great friends to us. So join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion. Of course, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Do a huddle when we hit a chair. How she can cuddle is no man's affair. sugar bowl.